It is estimated that 19 billion mobile phones have been produced since Motorola produced the first cell phone back in 1984. Since the widespread adoption of mobile technology in 1992, 10 companies have dominated the marketplace. Surprisingly, Japanese manufacturer Panasonic is one of them, having sold almost 85 million units. Its phones, which were always seen as reliable, if not terribly exciting, held a significant share of the Japanese handset market, and they did some passable business worldwide until they withdrew their overseas business in 2005. HTC were among the pioneers of the smartphone era and have sold approximately 150.6 million units. Their most notable phones were the Touch, which operated on a Windows mobile platform, and the HTC Magic, which, with its Android operating system in 2009, was one of the first affordable smartphones and the very first to be entirely built on touchscreen technology. BlackBerry manufacturer Research in Motion were the ubiquitous phone of business people and government officials alike. With its no-frills commitment to efficiency and ease of use, as well as a full QWERTY keyboard, it was a market leader for years until its popularity began to be outstripped by the flashier iOS and Android devices. However, BlackBerries remain a vital tool for those who value security and privacy above all else, and have sold more than 180 million handsets since they moved into phones in 2002. Having the benefit of mergers and alterations which have kept the Siemens name in the top-selling lists for 15 years, phones manufactured by BenQ Siemens have sold almost 250 million units since the first one sold in 2000. Most people will remember their best-selling phone, the A50, a bulbous and colorful edition released in 2002. It featured downloadable logos and screensavers, as well as a 50-contact address book, which was pretty good at that time. Another brand which has done well from its merger, Ericsson was once the leading mobile phone name in the world, but it was when they became Sony Ericsson that the company really came into its own, having sold more than 527 million units since the merger. Their most popular phones, the Cybershot line, featured 5-megapixel cameras and full-color screens, and Sony Ericsson were among the first to experiment with touchscreen technology, adding touch buttons to their phone, the K850i. Another brand whose longevity has seen it sell a staggering number of units is South Korean electronics giant LG. They have been through every iteration of phones and still make handsets using Android's operating system today. LG's best-selling phone was 2009's Chocolate, a deliciously named slide phone which was the height of fashion when they released, contributing to the total of 865.15 million units sold by LG since they entered the market in 1997. You may expect Apple to rank higher on this list, but having only been on the market since 2007, their return of almost 1 billion units sold suggests that they will one day outstrip the rest of their competition as more and more people turn to Apple. The first iPhone reinvented the phone and introduced the idea of using the screen as the basis for everything on the phone, meaning that suddenly, the number pad was done away with, allowing for more freedom in both normal phone operations and in apps. The first iPhone was a revolution, and most manufacturers are still struggling to keep up. With more than 1.4 billion units sold, Motorola are another group who have been in there since the very start. They introduced the first cell phone in 1984 and came up with the StarTAC, the first widely popular mobile phone. Forming the basis of the iconic Motorola Razr, the StarTAC was released in 1996 and bore an uncanny resemblance to the communicator from Star Trek, building its reputation and boosting the sales of the phone, which was the smallest of its kind at the time. Electronics giant Samsung made its first commercially successful handset in 1993, having committed to making phones to compete with Motorola by 1994 or getting out of the market. The AnyCall was the lightest phone on the market at the time and kept Samsung in the game. Samsung have gone on to sell more than 2.5 billion handsets since 1992 and became the biggest selling manufacturer year-on-year in 2012. Despite being overtaken as the year-on-year winner by their rivals, Finnish company Nokia are still the best-selling phone manufacturer of all time, having sold more than 4.4 billion units since 1992. They have produced numerous incredible and iconic phones, including the indestructible 3310 and the 8110 slide phone, which featured in the first Matrix movie. But their best-selling phone of all time may surprise you. It was the humble 1110, the successor of the 3310, which has sold more than 250 million units and was so popular thanks to the simplicity of its design and its low cost, which catered to new cell phone users and those in developing countries who did not require complex features.